Okay, so in the last video, we talked about how to tell if things are proportional. Now we're going to look at things that we know are proportional, whether it's because we already went through our steps and verified it, or if the question is simply saying, hey, here's a proportional relationship. Okay, so once again, you heard this last year, so it should sound familiar. We do have something called a constant of proportionality. So that means when x and y are proportional, it's the number that you're always multiplying the x by to find the y value. It's kind of like it's the rule. Like, what are you multiplying by each time? And the way the equation looks when you're talking about constant proportionality is y equals kx, okay, where k is the constant of proportionality. I'm going to abbreviate it as COP for short. Okay, now if we want to find the constant of proportionality, okay, technically, according to our one-step equations, if I wanted to figure out what k was, I could technically divide both sides by x to get rid of it. K would be alone, and we would have y over x on the left side, which is how we get this little tiny formula on the right side. And I don't know why there's a little circle there. Oh, there it went away. So our constant of proportionality, which is k, can be found by doing y over x, which is why in the last video I said when we're checking the things, if it's checking to see if things are proportional, let's just automatically do that ratio of y over x, not x over y, because we need it for COP. Okay, so this table should look familiar, but now we are going through and actually finding the constant of proportionality. And if it is not already an equation, we're going to write it in its equation form. So from an equation, if we're finding the constant proportionality, it's just the number being multiplied by the x. Okay, that would be the constant proportionality. So if our example is y equals 2x, the number being multiplied by the x is 2. Therefore, the constant of proportionality in that equation is 2. In the next example, we do not have y by itself. So we need to do a little tiny extra work on this one to get y by itself first. So if I divide both sides by 8, that will get the y by itself. So I'm going to divide by 8 there, divide by 8 there. We get y equals, okay, and 4 divided by 8 would just be 0.5 or 1/2, however you want to write it. So this would be y equals 1/2 x. And now I can see x is being multiplied by 1/2. So our constant of proportionality is 1/2, or 0.5 is fine as well. So if your y is not alone, you need to do a little bit of tiny work to get that y by itself before you decide what that constant of proportionality is. Okay, from a table, okay, we talked about setting up those ratios of y over x. Remember, at this point, we have already verified it's proportional by checking every single one. Okay, or it's saying, hey, here's a proportional relationship. What's the constant of proportionality? So in this case, okay, all you have to do is choose one x and y and write the ratio as y over x. Okay, you don't have to do every single one if you know it's proportional. So here we have our points. Okay, 8, 2, 12, 3, 25. I'm going to choose the one with the smallest numbers. Okay, so remember, constant proportionality is y over x. So that would be 2 over 8. And that simplifies to 1/4, or 0.25. Okay, if it's a nice decimal, you could always do nice decimal. If not nice decimal, probably just want to leave it in fraction form. In this case, our equation, we know it's y equals kx. That constant proportionality just gets multiplied by the x. So for this, it would be y equals 1/4 x, or y equals 0.25x. And from the graph, okay, we're going to choose an ordered pair. Kind of already did this in the last one, but remember, an ordered pair is an x comma y. And we're going to use that ordered pair, okay, and once again, create the ratio y over x. So in our example, we have a straight line through the origin. It is indeed proportional. We are going to take this ordered pair of 4, 5 that they give us. Okay, if they don't happen to give us a point, we have to look to see where does our line crisscross that grid behind it at a nice spot. Like if they didn't give me that 4 or 5, like I don't want to use that point right there. Like I can see it has a y value of 3, but I don't know what its x value is. Or same thing, I wouldn't do that point right there. That has an x of 1, but it's kind of above the y of 1. So if they don't give you that nice point, you kind of have to find one by looking to see, yeah, where does it crisscross my grid? Where can I find that nice ordered pair? But luckily they gave us 4, 5, so we don't have to worry about that. So we have x comma y, and I'm going to do my ratio as y over x, which would be 5 over 4. So 5/4 is my constant proportionality. If you happen to divide it out, it would be 1.25. And then if I just take that information and write my equation, remember that number is multiplied by my x, we would say y equals 5/4 x. Or once again, y equals 1.25. Okay, and that is how you find constant proportionality. Remember, y over x, super important.